We were absolutely humiliated in week 12 in the Flock League, and we need a huge bounce back in week 13. Week 12 has come and gone, and I would appreciate if we could all forget it as soon as possible. We get our own score doubled. We lose by just over 100 points to the Devs. I'm going to get through this recap as fast as possible. With the Devs, the story is two players mainly, and those guys are Gibbs and JSN. If you came up against this combo this week, I am sorry, I felt your pain. 55 points for Gibbs, 37 for JSN. The Devs were on a mission this week, and there was just no stopping them. They had Jalen Hurts at quarterback, score 30. We ended up playing Jacoby Brissett because Jackson Dart didn't make it through the concussion protocol. It was a toss-up between Brissett and Caleb Williams. Those are my two choices. I ended up going with Brissett because he had been top 12 in the 5 weeks that he started, as well as the fact that Aaron Rodgers was out, and I felt like that Bears-Steelers game could be one in which Caleb didn't need to throw the ball a ton. I made the wrong call. I started Brissett over Caleb. Caleb scored more points. It didn't matter. In our running back slots, Jordan Mason gives us 4 points. He's just a handcuff on a bad offense now, so he will be dropped. Travis Etienne with a big game. This was really encouraging. The one silver lining from this week is Travis Etienne keeping his workload, keeping his RB1 status. He had 15 carries and 4 targets, just under 20 opportunities. He plays almost a season high, 65% of the snaps. Bashal Tuden is the backup, Etienne is the starter, and I'm very happy with that heading into the final stretch here. My wide receivers disappointed. Diggs and Higgins in the same game. Diggs with his worst game since we acquired him, going 2 for 20. And Higgins going 5 for 31, and then he gets the concussion and he's ruled out for Thursday night against Baltimore, which is so disappointing. Especially with the loss this week and how everything else in the league went, we really could have used Higgins to help up our chances of a win in week 13, and now we're not going to have him. At our tight end, Kittle was great on Monday night, 6 for 78. No touchdown this week, but a solid 14 points. Ricky, I don't know what's going on here. Obviously, he had the end zone target, which was picked off. He's on the field a lot. He's playing 3/4 of the snaps, just not getting targeted that much. It's just taking a while for him and Purdy to get on the same page, and it needs to happen fast because we need him in our lineup. Christian Watson was good, 5 for 49. The Devs had the second half of their stack here. A.J. Brown, of course, he's bad all year, comes up against us. 8 for 110 and a touchdown, 25 points. Juwan Jennings outscores both of our 49ers. Seahawks defense didn't do as much as I would have liked. Again, none of it really mattered. Nothing of note on our bench, really, besides the fact that Shaheed is doing absolutely nothing when we would have hoped that he could have done something. And Chris Godwin, in his first game back, only plays 36% of the snaps. Hopefully his workload increases, and maybe we can use him a week or two in the playoffs. Obviously, we had no Devon Achane this week. He's been our anchor, our best player, our MVP. We will have him back in week 13. Let's move away from this disastrous week 12 matchup and check out how the standings are looking heading into week 13. So Sal beat Mason this week. He holds that number 1 seed. He will have the number 1 seed and the bye. Mason will likely slot into number 2. And then we do still hold 3rd place in the league. Thomas now has the same record as us at 7-5, but we have the points for tiebreaker. And then there are 3 teams at 6-6 that are all fighting for those last 2 playoff spots. We have by no means clinched this thing yet. Obviously, we are in a good spot. 1 win, and we basically are good. That is because if we win just 1 game, that will put us at 8 wins. Now, to fall out of the playoffs, all of Thomas, the Devs, Avery, and Bush would have to pass us. Thomas can easily pass us with 2 wins if we only win 1. But the Devs, Avery, and Bush, they would all have to go 2-0 in the final 2 weeks. The Devs and Avery have the points on us, so they would pass us if we go 1-1 and they both go 2-0. Bush would need to go 2-0 and make up 30 points on us. So the odds of all 3 of those teams going 2-0 are very slim. Plus the thing with Bush needing to make up those points. So I feel really good about our playoff spot, but we still need to win games. I want the highest seed possible. Not that any of these 6 or 5 seeds are going to be easy, but I would really love just a win in week 13 and be able to just sit pretty until the playoffs. Now, unfortunately, Sleeper had the stupid thing like last week where the waivers didn't work and some people could add players, some people weren't able to make claims. So we're not going to have any waivers this week. We're just going to move right to the week 13 matchup. All right, big matchup in week 13 because we were coming up against the 4th place team. We are in 3rd. This is a huge matchup against Thomas the Editor. He got the better of us in week 2. I remember Amon-Ra put up like 40 in that game. Starting with the quarterbacks, we are going to throw Jackson Dart out there if he is available. He has been lights out when he is starting. 19, 17, 23, 29, 19, 27, 26. He has a rushing touchdown in almost all of those games. That's really helpful for us because this is a 4-point passing touchdown league. So if Dart is healthy and all signs point to him clearing the protocol this week, he plays on Monday night, we will throw him back out there. Thomas picked up Bo Nix to play against us. Really good matchup against the Commanders on Sunday Night Football. My only hope for that is that they can just run the ball and RJ Harvey has a big game and Bo Nix can stay relatively quiet. Some huge names at running back. We obviously have Devon Achane coming up against the New Orleans Saints. It's a good matchup. Hopefully he can carry us to a victory here. On the other side, you got Derrick Henry against the Bengals, the worst defense in the NFL. I think by EPA per play, they are like the worst defense since they started tracking it in like 2000. So that's good. I'll just be praying that Henry doesn't go for 40. Then we have Travis Etienne against the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are a good matchup for running backs, so hopefully Etienne has a big game. Genty on the other side, he had a bit of an injury, but I think part of that was keeping him out of the game because it was over. So he has a matchup against the Chargers. I think if Achane and Etienne can outscore Henry and Genty, we'll be in a good spot. Moving over to the wide receivers, my only player playing on Thanksgiving, thanks to T. Higgins getting a concussion, is Christian Watson in that 1 p.m. Eastern game against the Lions. And on the other side is Amon-Ra St. Brown, who, like I said, put up 40 against us, 3 touchdowns, I think, in week 2. Hopefully, Christian Watson can come through for us, and hopefully the Green Bay Packers defense can come through for us and shut down Amon-Ra. Our other wide receiver is going to be Ricky Pearsall. He's been disappointing in 2 games since he came back. Hopefully, 3rd time's a charm because we need him. I mean, in the first 3 games of the season before he got injured, he had 108, 56, and 117 yards. We need to get back to that. Cleveland is a good defense, but they've been susceptible to some wide receiver points over the past month or so. We need Ricky to get back in to the points here. Across from him is Deebo Samuel against Denver. It's a really tough matchup. We traded Deebo to Thomas a few weeks ago. We don't need no revenge game garbage in this one. At tight end, we have the advantage with George Kittle, but Cincinnati is by far the best matchup for tight ends, and he is playing Mark Andrews. I would not be shocked if Andrews has the best game of his season in this one. Currently, at the moment, I am flexing Brenton Strange. Now, I would like to find a better option off waivers. Tennessee is not a great matchup for tight ends, but when we get to my bench currently, you'll see what I'm working with. And then I'm also playing Stephon Diggs. Throwing him right back out there. The Giants are a fine matchup. I don't want a Monday night sweat, but Diggs has been really good in prime time, so wouldn't mind cheering on my guy. Thomas's flex spots, starting with Rico Dowdle. Obviously a bit of a quiet night against the 49ers, but he's been really good, and he comes up against a really tough Rams defense. Hopefully they can keep him quiet as well. And then Keenan Allen against the Las Vegas Raiders. The guy hasn't scored 10 points since week 7, so hopefully that continues. Except he did get back up to 75% of the snaps against the Jaguars. They were throwing the entire game. I still feel fine about the move I made there. ETN has been huge for us. Kickers, will skip over them. And then defenses is a heavyweight matchup. 2 of the top 5 defenses in the league, both with good matchups. I'm playing Seattle against Minnesota. JJ McCarthy, 9. Hopefully a few picks. And Denver's playing the Commanders. On my bench right now, obviously, I have the Eagles defense, who I'm stashing for some playoff matchups, and then Godwin and Shaheed, neither of which can be started right now. I would like to stash Shaheed, continue to stash him. I don't know if there's a better stash on waivers, but I might need somebody to just play. I do have 2 empty slots right now. I dropped Jacoby Brissett as well as Jordan Mason. So we're just looking for a spot start on waivers, maybe a Darius Slayton, maybe somebody else. If you guys have any ideas, waivers are kind of bare in this league. I could make a trade for somebody, but yeah, that's our matchup for week 13. A win would be huge. It would just make us really comfortable. We have an easy matchup in week 14 against Nick the Editor, but Dart is on bye, Stephon Diggs is on bye, and our 49ers are on bye. So we are very short in week 14 against Nick, even though he is the worst team in the league. I'm not even going to talk about it falling apart because I refuse to speak that into existence. But a win this week is more important than it might feel. A bit of a shorter video this week. I don't know if you can tell, but I am severely sick. I have a really bad cold, been dealing with it all weekend. powering through for this video, but can't be talking for like 30 minutes here. Thank you all so much for tuning in and supporting the channel. I love reading the comments. I love seeing everybody get hyped up, not only in my comments, but in the comments of the Flock League videos as well. Obviously that Thursday one sort of blew up in my favor. I would love to be in the league next year. We'll see what happens with that. I obviously have no expectations whatsoever. I'm just absolutely blessed that I was able to be a part of it this year. And we are by no means done with this thing. I have all the faith in the world that we will clinch our playoff spot and that we will do some damage in them. So leave a like if you're enjoying the videos, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. Also, go check out my Dynasty Fantasy Football podcast. It's a lot of fun. I'm doing it with a buddy of mine. Go check that out if you're into Dynasty or if you want to get into Dynasty as the offseason approaches here. Good luck to all of you in your playoff pushes in Week 13, and I will see you all, hopefully after a win, in Week 14.